Right. So today, we're diving deep into some magic lore.
Yeah.
And
Deep, deep,
it's going to be a deep one.
deep.
We're going into the world of Nicol Bolas.
Yes.
And
The god.
trying to really figure out what makes this guy tick.
Absolutely.
We're going way beyond just, the who's who,
Right,
and,
yeah.
the surface level stuff, right? We really want to
It's more than a bot.
understand, what drives him.
Yeah.
What are some motivations? What's his psychology?
What makes him so scary?
Yeah, why is he considered one of the most formidable forces across the entire multiverse?
Right. And to do that, we're going to be looking at, like you said, going deeper than just the surface who's who, but looking at actual accounts, stories, events, things like that.
Yeah, I mean, when we're talking about Bolas, we got to start with the fact that he's an elder dragon.
Absolutely.
And that's a pretty big deal.
One of the OG big bads, right?
Yeah, but I mean, it goes way beyond that, right?
Yeah.
It's not just that he's this big, powerful dragon.
Of course, of course.
His story is way deeper than that.
Much deeper.
So where do we even begin?
Well, he's an elder dragon, but think about this. He was born into a world where just by existing, he was a cataclysmic event.
Oh, wow.
Right. These are not like your friendly neighborhood dragons.
Yeah.
We're talking forces of nature that could reshape entire, landscapes and civilizations.
So he's born with this power, right?
Oh, absolutely.
With his twin brother, Ugin.
Ugin, yes.
I mean, talk about sibling rivalry, right?
Oh, yeah.
I can't even imagine sharing a room with that.
Oh, I know, right?
But it wasn't all just, epic battles and fire breathing.
Right.
I mean, something pretty tragic happened
Oh, for sure.
early on that really shaped his worldview.
It did.
So what happened?
Okay, so he and Ugin witnessed the death of their sister,
Oh, wow.
Moravia Sal, at the hands of humans.
At the hands of humans.
Humans. And this is important because, we're talking beings who are practically gods, right?
Yeah.
To see their own kin, their own blood, fall to these seemingly insignificant creatures.
That's been a shock.
A complete shock.
Yeah.
And it instilled this deep sense of vulnerability in Bolas.
Oh, wow.
Like this fear of being hunted. And that really stuck with him for the rest of his incredibly long life.
Yeah, I mean, if even dragons can fall,
Exactly.
the world's a pretty scary place,
Oh,
right?
absolutely. Much more dangerous than they thought.
Yeah.
So it's almost like this experience set him on this path to just eliminate any threat,
Yeah.
any potential threat, just become the ultimate predator.
Wow, so this really set the stage.
Yeah.
But there's also something about his name, right?
Yes.
I mean, it's not just a random dragon name.
No, names have power in magic lore.
Okay.
They're not just labels, right? It's a reflection of a being's essence, their purpose.
Oh.
Bolas and Ugin shared the name Nicol, but Bolas decided to just be known as Bolas.
So he dropped the Nicol.
He dropped it.
Interesting.
He essentially asserted his dominance over his own twin.
Oh, wow.
Right. Just that little detail
Yeah.
speaks volumes about his ambition, his need to be recognized as superior.
It's like he's saying, I'm not just a Nicol.
Right.
I'm Bolas.
I'm Bolas, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty intense for a dragon just starting out.
It is.
And this hunger for power, this need to dominate, it really comes to the forefront during the Elder Dragon War, right?
Absolutely.
This is a big one.
The Elder Dragon War
This is a huge conflict.
spans thousands of years.
I mean, we're talking dragons versus dragons.
Yeah.
These massive forces of nature just battling it out for supremacy.
Right. And Bolas doesn't just participate.
He thrives in it.
He thrives.
Yeah.
Like, the war itself fuels his ambition.
Wow.
It hones his skills as a strategist and manipulator.
Okay, so he's not just a brute force kind of dragon.
No.
He's got the brains to match the brawn. He's learning, he's adapting, he's becoming more ruthless.
It's getting better.
Yeah, and it's during this war,
Yeah.
in a final clash with his brother, Arcade Sabbath,
Oh, yeah.
that something pretty significant happens.
Something big.
That really kind of takes him to a whole new level.
A whole new level.
So what happens?
His planeswalker spark ignites.
Okay, hold on, explain that.
All right, so picture this. Bolas, he's locked in this crazy battle with Arcade Sabbath.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, Ugin appears.
His brother.
His brother, right. And Ugin is wielding this power that's like nothing Bolas has ever seen before.
Okay.
And Ugin reveals that he's a planeswalker,
Ooh.
being capable of traversing the planes, the different dimensions of the multiverse.
Oh, okay.
And Bolas in that moment is just consumed by envy.
Oh, wow.
He wants that power, that freedom more than anything.
Yeah.
And it's that desire, that burning envy, that ignites his own planeswalker spark.
So it wasn't something he was born with.
No.
It was like awakened by his ambition,
You-
by his desire to surpass even his twin.
Exactly.
And that's when everything changes, right?
Absolutely.
Because the Planeswalker Spark allows him to do what?
Travel the planes. It's not just conquering a single world anymore. We're
Yeah.
talking about influencing the entire multiverse.
It's like he was playing checkers,
Mm-hmm.
and suddenly the board just expands.
The whole universe opens up.
Yeah, there's a whole universe of possibilities.
Yeah, the possibilities are endless for him at that point.
So Bolas has this spark, this power.
Right.
But this rivalry with his brother, Ugin,
Oh, yeah.
doesn't end with the Elder Dragon War.
Of course not. It escalates even further.
Yeah, and they eventually have this huge confrontation
Oh,
on the meditation plane.
the meditation plane.
Okay, what is the meditation plane?
All right, so the meditation plane is this extra-dimensional realm
Okay.
that exists outside the normal flow of time and space.
What?
Yeah, it's a place where powerful beings can go to, meditate.
So like a retreat?
Yeah, kind of like a retreat to contemplate the mysteries of the multiverse.
Okay.
But it's also a place where conflicts
Yeah.
can have some serious, universe-shattering consequences.
Oh, wow.
And that's exactly what happens when Bolas and Ugin clash.
Wow, this is like a showdown.
A showdown.
Epic proportions. Epic proportions.
I mean, what
So
happens? Do they, throw galaxies at each other?
I wish we had all the details, but, we just know it was a clash of unimaginable power.
Okay.
It spanned multiple planes, possibly even eons, and the impact was felt across the multiverse,
Wow.
leaving scars on, like the fabric of reality.
I mean, that's intense.
Oh, yeah.
So who wins?
Bolas,
Bolas wins?
he emerges victorious, seemingly killing Ugin.
Wow.
Yeah.
So he takes his brother out of the picture,
Uh-huh.
at least for now.
Seemingly.
Yeah, that's pretty intense even for Bolas.
It is.
But, something tells me Bolas doesn't like to leave loose ends.
You're right to think that.
Yeah.
And we see this play out later when he hatches a plan to permanently end Ugin. Okay, but how?
So he uses another powerful being, Yasova Dragonclaw, to help him.
Yes, Silver Dragonclaw.
She's a warrior from the plane of Tarkir.
Okay. And how does he get her to do his bidding?
Okay, so this is Bolas being Bolas.
Okay.
He appears to Yasova in a vision
Okay.
and shows her a glimpse of a future Tarkir free from the tyranny of dragons.
So he's giving her what she wants.
He's playing to her desires.
Yeah.
Yasova is a fierce dragon slayer who just wants peace and order.
Yeah.
Bolas preys on that desire, all while subtly pushing her towards actions that will ultimately benefit him.
So he's playing the long game.
The long game, absolutely.
He's manipulating her.
He is. He's a master at it.
Yeah.
And he's not just about brute force. It's about understanding his opponent.
Yeah.
Understanding their desires, their weaknesses, and exploiting them.
So he's a strategist, a manipulator.
The best.
And Yasova's just one example of that.
One of many.
But
We're
yeah.
talking centuries in advance. He's always thinking ahead.
Wow, it's like a cosmic chess game. With Bolas moving the pieces.
Across the multiverse.
But even masterminds make mistakes, right?
Sometimes.
I mean, even someone as cunning as Bolas
Maybe.
had to have slipped up at some point.
Well, he did become the God Emperor of Madara for a time.
God Emperor Madara.
Madara, yeah.
Okay, what happened there?
Okay, so this is a fascinating chapter in Bolas's story.
Okay.
It's a period where he seemingly settles down, rules over a single plane for centuries.
It's like he's taking a break.
Kinda, yeah.
Okay.
He builds an empire, establishes laws,
Yeah.
cultivates this persona of godlike power.
So he's in control.
Total control.
But even gods can fall,
They
right?
can.
So what happens?
His downfall is actually more intriguing than his rise to power.
Okay, how so?
He's not toppled by armies or rival dragons.
What happened?
He's outsmarted
Outsmarted.
by his own champion, Tetsuo Umezawa.
Whew.
This is a champion that Bolas himself chose.
So Bolas picked this guy,
He did.
and then this guy tricks him.
Tricks him. Uses Bolas's own arrogance and pride against him.
Oh, wow.
It results in Bolas's essence being trapped between worlds.
What?
Yeah, his physical form is seemingly destroyed.
Okay, defeated by his own champion.
His own champion.
It's almost Shakespearean.
It is.
Yeah, it's like the ultimate betrayal.
Ultimate betrayal, yeah.
But it's also interesting.
Right.
If Bolas can be outsmarted,
Yeah.
if he's not as infallible as he seems,
Right.
what does that tell us about his character?
Exactly. It suggests that even a being with Bolas's power
Yeah.
Someone who's seemingly in total control can still be vulnerable
Oh,
to those who can understand his weaknesses.
So there's a chink in the armor.
Maybe.
Okay, I am officially hooked.
Good.
This is way more than just a villain origin story.
Oh, yeah.
We're getting into, like, the psychology of a mastermind,
Absolutely.
the cracks in his armor,
Yeah.
the moments that reveal his vulnerabilities.
It's fascinating.
Yeah, but we're just scratching the surface here, right?
Oh, we are just getting started.
I mean, Bolas's story spans millennia.
Oh, yeah.
With all these schemes, betrayals.
He's a busy guy.
Yeah. So where do we go from here?
Well, our next stop takes us to a Amonkhet, where his manipulation just reaches a whole new level of complexity.
Okay, can't wait to hear about that.
He arrives on this desert world not as a conqueror, but as a god.
A god.
Yeah, he subjugates the existing deities, twists their teachings, and establishes this whole society that worships him.
He creates a religion.
He does, and it's all part of a bigger plan.
Okay, but what's the plan?
Power and control.
Okay.
He creates a system designed to create the ultimate army.
An army.
An army of warriors, completely devoted, bred for battle,
Wow.
ready to serve his will without question.
So he's playing the really, really long game.
Oh, yeah.
This is a level of manipulation.
This king spans generations.
It does. He shapes their culture, their very identity.
Okay, but what's he planning? What does he need this army for? Well, that's a question that starts to unravel as we look into his dealings with other planeswalkers.
Okay.
Particularly his encounter with Liliana Vess.
Liliana.
Yes, and that is a story for part 2 of our deep dive.
All right, we'll be right back. So we left off with Bolas setting up shop on Amonkhet.
Right.
Building his army, playing the super long game.
Yeah, the ultimate long game.
But at some point, he runs into Liliana Vess.
He does.
And she's no slouch when it comes to power.
No, not at all. Liliana is one of the most powerful necromancers in the entire multiverse.
Oh, wow.
And her story is really intertwined with Bolas's.
Okay.
In a way that shows just how deep his schemes go.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
Their first meeting, it was after the mending.
After the mending.
Yeah, and this might even seem like Bolas is being helpful, almost benevolent.
Hold on, the mending.
Right.
I think we need a little refresher.
Yeah, probably.
I'm sure some listeners are like, what was the mending again?
Yeah, it's a big event.
It's kind of a big deal in magic lore.
Huge. It changed how planeswalkers work.
How so?
It basically diminished their raw power and tied them more closely to individual planes.
So less godlike.
Exactly. They became more vulnerable.
But for Bolas,
Yeah.
who loves manipulating planes,
Yeah.
this must have been a challenge.
Oh, a huge challenge. He had to adapt.
Okay, so back to Liliana.
Right.
He meets her after this power shift.
Uh-huh.
What's going on with her at this point?
Well, she is dealing with the fallout of her own ambition.
How so?
Liliana, she made pacts with demons.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
To gain power and immortality.
But demon deals, those always have a price.
Oh, always. And Bolas, always the opportunist. He sees her vulnerability and offers a solution.
I bet he does.
Of course.
What does he do?
Well, he helps her restructure her demonic contract.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That sounds awfully nice of him.
It does, doesn't it?
But what's the catch?
The ownership of the contract.
Reaming.
So when the demons die, the contract doesn't just disappear. It goes to Bolas.
So he becomes the new debt holder?
Exactly. He's now in control of her debt.
Wow.
Liliana, one of the most powerful mages out there, now owes Bolas big time.
It's like he's playing four-dimensional chess.
Right.
This wasn't a random act of kindness. It was all calculated.
Oh, completely. A move to gain leverage.
He's like a cosmic loan shark, offering a deal with insane hidden interest rates.
I love that analogy.
But it makes you wonder,
yeah.
Was this all part of his plan from the beginning?
That's the question.
Or was this just a lucky break that he capitalized on?
I mean, it's Bolas, so it's hard to tell.
He's always thinking ahead.
Always.
So we've got this army building on Amonkhet.
Right.
We've got Liliana in his pocket. What's the next step in this grand scheme?
Well, we have to jump ahead a bit.
Okay.
To the conflux.
The conflux. Do you remember that? It rings a bell. Refresh my memory.
Oh, yeah, so this was on Alara.
Okay.
It's where 5 shards of a broken world collided.
Oh, yeah. Chaos, magic everywhere.
Total chaos, yeah.
I'm sensing Bolas's fingerprints all over this.
Well, she didn't directly cause it.
Oh.
But he definitely knew how to use it to his advantage.
Of course.
He was influencing key players across all the shards.
Oh, wow.
Fueling conflict, pushing them towards war.
So classic Bolas, a nudge here, a whisper there.
He's a master manipulator.
And suddenly, Civilizations are tearing each other apart.
Exactly.
But what was he after?
Power. Always power. Always. Remember, the mending weakened him too.
Right.
The conflux with all that raw magical energy.
Yeah.
It was a chance for him to regain some of what he'd lost.
So he's recharging his batteries.
Yeah, pretty much.
Wow. Talk about resourceful.
That's Bolas.
But he also picks up another powerful ally during this time.
Oh, you mean Sarkhan Vol?
Yeah, the dragon fanatic.
The one who worships powerful dragons?
He seems like he'd be easily swayed by Bolas.
He does, doesn't he?
And Bolas probably sees that.
He does. Bolas recognizes Sarkhan's potential.
Okay.
He plays on his desire to see powerful dragons rule the world.
Another pawn in Bolas's game.
Absolutely.
Is there anyone Bolas hasn't manipulated?
I mean, there are those who resist.
Yeah.
But even they usually get caught up in his schemes somehow.
That's scary.
It is.
But it's not just individuals, right?
No.
He also sees potential in entire civilizations.
He does.
Even the ones that everyone else considers monstrous.
Like the Phyrexians.
The Phyrexians.
Yeah.
Metal zombie people.
Pretty much.
What could Bolas possibly see in them?
Well, he sees the threat, obviously.
Yeah.
They're incredibly powerful, ruthless,
Yeah.
driven to conquer.
And Bolas respects that.
He sees their potential, yeah.
Wow.
He might not like their methods,
Okay.
but he could definitely find a use for that chaos.
Okay, so he's playing with fire here.
He is.
Literally and figuratively.
Absolutely.
But we know it all builds to the War of the Spark, right?
It does.
This is Bolas's endgame.
His big move.
So what can you tell us about that?
Okay, so the War of the Spark. It's the culmination of all his scheming.
Centuries of planning.
Centuries, all leading to this.
And it all goes down on Ravnica.
Ravnica, the city of guilds.
The heart of the multiverse.
Pretty much.
Okay, I'm on the edge of my seat. What's the plan?
His plan hinges on a spell.
A spell.
Yeah, a powerful one, the Elder Spell.
The Elder Spell? Okay, what does it do?
Imagine it as a way to siphon the magical energy that fuels planeswalkers.
Steal their power.
Exactly. Bolas wants to harvest their sparks.
All of them.
As many as he can.
To become a god.
To become the most powerful being in the multiverse.
Okay, now this is getting good.
It is, but it's incredibly audacious.
Yeah, I mean, how does he even get close to pulling this off?
Well, like we said, he's been planning this for centuries.
Right.
Setting events in motion, manipulating people.
He's got to have help.
He does. Remember Relazaric?
The mage?
Yeah, he's been a pawn of Bolas's for years.
Oh, wow.
Bolas planted him on Ravnica.
So he's got an inside man.
You could say that.
Okay, but how does he get all the planeswalkers in one place?
Okay, so Ral, he manipulates Niv-Mizzet, the leader of the Izzet, the dragon genius.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about him.
Bolas uses Ral to get Niv-Mizzet to activate the interplanar beacon.
The beacon.
Yeah.
Isn't that what called all the planeswalkers to Ravnica?
It is. It's like a distress signal.
Oh, wow.
It plays on their heroic instincts.
So they come running to help.
Exactly, and walk right into Bolas's trap.
Okay, that's devious.
That's Bolas.
But they can still planeswalk away, right?
Not so fast. He's got another trick up his sleeve.
What's that?
The Immortal Sun.
Oh, I've heard of that.
It's this powerful artifact that suppresses planeswalker sparks.
So they're trapped.
Trapped on Ravnica, powerless.
Wow, this plan is insane.
It is, but it's Bolas.
Okay, so he's got them all there.
Yeah.
He's got the Elder Spell. He's ready to become a god.
It seems like it.
But this is part 2.
It is.
So he must run into some problems.
He does.
I can't wait to hear about it. All right, so last time we left off,
With Bolas.
yeah, with Bolas putting his master plan into action.
Right. The War of the Spark is in full swing.
The planeswalkers are trapped.
Yeah. On Ravnica, their sparks suppress.
And Bolas is about to unleash the Elder Spell.
He's ready to become a god.
But something tells me it's not going to be that easy.
It never is with Bolas.
So what happens? Who tries to stop him?
Well, there's resistance, of course.
Yeah.
The Gatewatch, other planeswalkers.
They're not just going to sit back and watch.
No, they fight back.
But Bolas has an army, right?
He does. The Eternals, those super soldiers he created on a Munket,
Oh, yeah, I forgot about him.
they're formidable.
So it's a huge battle.
Oh, yeah, the fate of the multiverse hangs in the balance.
Okay, but who really challenges Bolas?
Well, Niv-Mizzet,
The dragon genius.
he sees through Bolas's manipulations,
Okay.
and they clash. A battle for the ages.
Wow, this is like Godzilla versus King Kong, but with magic.
Pretty much. 2 colossal dragons. Incredible power, incredible intelligence.
Who wins?
It's not really about winning or losing.
Okay.
Niv-Mizzet, he can't defeat Bolas outright,
Well,
but he resists Bolas's mind control.
He can do that.
Niv-Mizzet's mind, it's unique, a labyrinth of riddles and equations.
So Bolas can't get in.
No, it's impenetrable.
That's incredible.
It is, and it plays a key role later on.
Okay, but Bolas, he still has the Elder Spell, right?
He does, and he casts it.
He actually does it.
He harvests the sparks of countless planeswalkers.
Oh, wow.
It's a terrifying display of power.
So he's a god now.
Pretty much he's ascended.
But this is part 3.
Right.
It can't be over.
It's not, remember Liliana?
The necromancer.
Yeah, Bolas's puppet.
She's still leading his army, right?
She is, the Dread Horde.
Yeah.
But witnessing the carnage of the war,
Yeah.
the death, the destruction, it changes her.
She has a change of heart.
You could say that. It's more like a realization
Of what?
that she's become the very thing she hated. A puppet master, controlling others, causing pain.
Wow. So what does she do?
She rebels.
She turns on Bolas.
In the middle of the battle,
Wow.
she orders the Dread Horde to stand down.
What?
Yeah, to stop fighting.
Bolas must be furious.
Oh, he is. He tries to force her to obey.
Through the contract.
Yeah, and Liliana starts to disintegrate.
That's awful.
It is, but Gideon,
the hero.
he sacrifices himself to break the contract.
Oh, wow. To save Liliana.
Yes, and to free her from Bolas's control.
That's a powerful moment.
It is a true act of heroism.
But Bolas, he's still a god, right?
He is weakened, but still incredibly powerful.
How do they even begin to fight him now?
It's not about brute force.
Then what?
It's about strategy, knowing his weaknesses.
Okay.
And this is where Ugin comes back into the picture.
Ugin?
Bolas's twin brother.
But I thought he was dead.
Bolas thought so too.
Okay.
Remember he trapped Ugin in a Hedron cocoon?
Oh, yeah. Way back on Tarkir.
Ugin survived.
Yeah.
He recovered and escaped.
Wow. Talk about holding a grudge.
He was waiting for the right moment
To strike back.
to end Bolas.
Okay. How does he do it?
He knows he can't kill Bolas.
Why not?
Bolas has cheated death before.
Right.
He could find a way to come back.
So, what's the plan?
Imprisonment?
Imprison Bolas.
Yeah, on the meditation plane.
The place outside time and space?
The perfect prison.
Okay, but how do you get him there?
Well, Ugin needs help.
From who?
Jace Beleren.
Jace. But Bolas messed with his mind.
He did, but this is bigger than that.
Okay.
Ugin asks Jace to create an illusion.
An illusion.
Of what?
Of Bolas dying.
What?
Yeah, a grand spectacle. Bolas disintegrating into nothing.
They fake his death.
It's risky, but it works.
The Planeswalkers think they've won.
They do, and while they're distracted,
Ugin takes Bolas.
to the meditation plane.
Wow, that's crazy.
And on the meditation plane,
Yeah.
Ugin strips Bolas of everything.
Everything.
His names, his titles, his power, even his identity.
He's not Nicol Bolas anymore. Nope, just a prisoner.
A prisoner in his own mind.
Exactly, trapped forever.
I mean, that's a fitting end.
It is. The master manipulator outmaneuvered.
But it still makes you wonder,
Yeah.
can someone like Bolas truly be contained?
That's the question, isn't it? His influence is still felt across the multiverse.
Yeah, his schemes were so complex.
She's far-reaching.
It's like his story isn't really over.
And that's what makes Bolas so fascinating.
He's a villain, but a compelling one.
Absolutely. He makes us think about power, about ambition, about the choices we make.
Well, I think that about wraps up our deep dive into the world of Nicol Bolas.
It was a long one.
Yeah, but what a journey.
A journey through millennia of schemes, betrayals, and epic battles.
He's a character that'll stick with you.
Well, for sure.
And his story makes you really think.
About the nature of power, about good and evil.
And about the choices we make.
Because even the smallest choice
Can have consequences.
that ripple across the multiverse.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
It was a pleasure.
Until next time.